Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to some more Let's Play Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth. Where we left off, we managed to get our equipment back, and we eliminated the marshes. Actually, one of them eliminated the other brother, and then we eliminated the high priest, as it were. We now find ourselves running around looking for an item that we didn't know existed. We need a green crystal, and so that we can activate the portal that we had discovered from the Yithian chamber buried down here in Devil's Reef. Now, I have done this part, and I have done every part, including the final boss, a bit. It took about 2.5 hours, and most of that time was spent with me running around, unable of what to do, and cursing and swearing because how frustrating this game can be in that regard. This will hopefully not be anywhere near as frustrating to watch. This will probably, however, be the last video. When all is said and done, you can hang around and listen to my thoughts on the game after the credits roll, if we get back to the intro screen, assuming that such happens. I have not beaten the final boss, but I got up to it, and I think I understand enough about it to successfully do that battle. First off, this is where we need to come for the crystal. These are the crystals. That is the crystal we want. I spent an hour on screen looking for it.
That should do the trick.
Okay, everyone. Let's step on through. That is a Yithian lightning gun. It has a normal shot, a charged shot, which is fully charged and it begins to blink red. And if you shoot water with it, everything in the water dies. Our next objective is to bring this weapon with us to destroy the starfish tunnel. All the starfish in that one tunnel. The weapon is powerful. It can take 2 quick shots to kill a fully developed deep one, though, as a heads up. Or apparently even a person. Oh my god! You're apparently way too overconfident with this weapon, Tim.
The furnishings here seem temporary. I think these quarters are for visitors rather than inhabitants.
everyone. That should silence the starfish. Roasted all of them. This should look familiar. This is one of the great seals that the Yithians used to keep something below them, hidden or sealed in those trap doors. And we can see this one is cracked. There's no hope for it. We have to go down here and see what the Yithians kept prisoner. What were they afraid of? Just let it know we're here. We can't outrun it. We're gonna have to stay and figure out how best we can combat it. You'll note I don't save at that slot. Continuing starts you right here, so... Oh, these marks, we should cover these really quick. It's a very nice add-on that they did for this. Well, not add-on, but touch. These are footsteps of sorts from the things which live in here, though they don't need to walk on the ground very much. We'll get plenty of vision on them. Well, here we go. Those were flying polyps. Amazing. They did a fantastic job on them. Although it looked like we were fighting a mouth, a floating mouth. I guess we kind of were. There's other mouths on them as well, besides the main one that we were seeing. And there's multiple eyes on it. This is what I tried running up before. We should have an easier time doing so this time. Oh, we might have actually made this had I known I could climb right there. Wow. And in about 15 minutes, I did what took 2 hours or so last time. I left some ammo back here. The Ythian lightning gun does not require any ammunition. By the way, it just has a recharge between shots. As you can see, I've been playing for a while earlier. Let's get everything's attention. The high priests should come down now from the chamber up above. We just have to be careful of roving deep ones here. As good as the Ythian lightning gun is, it's still no match for good-fashioned lead into something's head.
It's written in some kind of ancient language. According to the text, the doors can only be opened with an ancient chant. Spoken by someone in possession of a sacred charm.
He's calling to me.
We need to get behind these statues and lower them. That's right, and pull this lever.
What's happening to me? Too many are dead. Something's happening.
We have a deep one attacking coming. That's a hint. We need to be standing in the center of that. It's a bit weird, this part, and I don't understand it very well, but I'll describe what happens as we begin doing this. Hopefully it'll work this time. We have to hit the gong. That will provide enough disturbance that we can't hear her roar, which is required if you want to do this part. Now we stand here. And we become a deep one. And supposedly... There. We can knock this down. We have to do that another, I think, 3 times. We have to go back down there, ring the gong, defeat any enemies that are guarding her up there, and then stand in the pool. I don't understand why we can control a deep one. It must be some special power that Jack has had, given to him... Well, that he has, I suppose we should just say that. Not enough. We didn't kill the deep ones quickly enough to get into the water. Oh, that was a misfire. Oh, and it deactivates when you do that. Interesting. I first ever misfire everyone. No, we have to be really close to it, apparently. She's summoning assistance. We will kill both of them. Sorry, everyone. You have to hear what I hear when it's quiet outside. I have tendinitis. She is protected by the same barrier, which is protecting the city itself. And not even the Yithian guns can penetrate that. I hear that someone helped is up here somewhere. One second. I need to know where the last one is going to be coming from. That one. This is the first I've ever gotten everyone in this fight as well. I wasn't able to have the creatures actually activate the levers last time. There's a summoned help. Oops, not that one, to this one. I think that's all of them. Let's check really quick. I think that's all of them. Okay. I don't know what to do. Oh, there's so much water rushing in there. I bet you we can we do this? And kill her with electrocuting her? Oh, sure. Absolutely, we'll take a save. Father Dagon is resting at the bottom of the sea, or is heavily wounded with the shell we put into it from the ship. We've eliminated Hydra right now as well, electrocuting her to death. We've killed some ancient polyps, stopping them from terrorizing the world.
I'm not going to be able to get through it without that charm. Behuin and Kugnath, Fanu Naemna, Bagliz Kafungin, Kathavahel, Call of Cthulhu Kafungni, Raigazengaro, Hydra.
You should say it with more, you know, Hydra, Young Fahangazu, or whatever it is that he's supposed to say. Now, make it. Now, you might as well play the part while you're here. Oh crap, Tim, the submarine. Oh, the whole Kingscape behind me. We need to keep moving. Oh, what the heck? What? Dude, I bet you I'm gonna die at the same spot this time too. Was I not quick enough? I like how Jack just sits there and watches the torpedo. Meanwhile, you and I know that we would be running full tilt towards the exit.
Behuin and Kugnath, Fanu Naemna, Vagliz Kafungin, Kathava Call of Cthulhu Kafungni, Rigazengaro, Hydra.
It's like someone who says the words but doesn't understand their meaning. Please don't watch. Please don't watch. Skip. There is no skipping torpedo. Yes, Jack, yes. You should be constantly moving. Jack, we have greater problems than someone calling you. Now, I don't know what killed me up here, everyone. It looks like something just fell on us, or we fell to our doom, or God knows what. So, it's probably going to kill me again. And again. And then one more time after that, as a heads up. Jack, you gotta drink your V8. Please don't kill me again. What's killing me there? What's killing me there? What am I doing wrong? Am I not supposed to run forward? Am I supposed to stand? 2.5 hours, everyone, of basically that happening endlessly before the cool parts you just watched. Doesn't it figure this is going to happen over and over and over again? Can we skip this at least? No.
Fanu Naemna, Vagliz Kafungin, Kathava Call of Cthulhu Kafungni, Rigazengaro, Hydra.
That's the way out. There's no other way out. We're going to do this together, everyone. We're going to do this for another 30 minutes if necessary. And then I'll off-screen it. But you're going to suffer with me this time, viewer. I'm sorry. I love you to death. This game, though, oh, man. Yes, Jack, yes. Thank you, developers, for making some of this be skippable, but others not. It just seems sporadic. It's enough to drive someone insane. I get it. It's a Cthulhu game. Yep. Rocks. Oh, Jack, this is not a good time to having every episode of Vertigo ever. I don't know why he goes insane. Like, my adrenaline would be pumping. Going back through the barracks seems like a very bad idea. I think we're supposed to run up this way. This time I'll just wait and see what happens rather than just, I guess, rush through. The only thing I can think of is cheating to make ourselves run even faster. I don't understand. It's like I'm not going fast enough. I'll be right back, everyone. Okay. Let's see if this matters at all. I allowed Jack to run a little faster than normal. I can double his speed to just zip through this, I suppose, but I'd like to make it at least somewhat thematic once we're past that one part.
I'm not going to be able to get through it without that Behuin and Kugnath, Fanu Naemna, Bagliz Kafungin, Kathava Call of Cthulhu Kafungni, Rigazengaro, Hydra.
Yeah, it's somewhat noticeably faster. I like that. I don't think we're supposed to wait till Jack's sanity returns. That looks like a bad idea because everything's just crumbling after a certain amount of time has passed. Yeah, see all those rocks? Be sure they just crush you to death. Once you're past a certain part. Still dropping them exactly at the same spot. Please don't game. Don't do it. What the heck, game? What the heck? Alright, let's make it as fast as I can possibly make him run. Maybe this will work. Or maybe I'm just doing something horrifically wrong and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing there, which is probably more likely the case.
Behuin and Kugnath, Fanu Naemna, Bagliz Kafungin, Kathava Call of Cthulhu Kafungni, Rigazengaro, Hydra.
Yep, unskippable. Just let me know if it's timed or if things happen. I think that things happen according to where I step. Tim, you may actually die if you have it set so fast. Or Jack's sanity may cause him to kill himself because you're experiencing sanity stuff too quickly. That's a little better. We are beating some of the rocks that we're used to seeing.
Call of Cthulhu Kafungni, Rigazengaro, Hydra.
Jack! Hold up! Oh my god! Is he okay?
What the hell happened to him? Check his pulse.
Jack! Can you hear me? Jack!
Jack.
Why have you summoned me?
There is something I must show you. We must hurry. Time is short.
Where are we going?
The Great Library. A terrible conflict is upon us, and our hosts will not survive it. The keenest minds are already projecting to later days.
Who will be the enemy? There have been no ructions with either the Migo in the north or Cthulhu's kin to the south.
In your wanderings, did you come upon the vast sealed trapdoors at the foundation of the old city?
Yes, but I didn't understand their purpose.
There was a terrible war between us and a race of half-polypus creatures that had been dominant until our arrival. This volume tells of that bloody period.
Why are you showing me this now?
They are still down there, Jack, thriving in the darkness. They are plotting to break free of their bonds and wreak a terrible revenge. The end is inevitable, and close, very close.
How much time do we have? What the hell was that?
You are no longer safe. Follow me.
If this is the end, where am I supposed to go?
It's time for you to go back.
Back?
Yes, back to your own time. Before you leave, there is something more you need to know.
What is this place?
The human mind is too delicate a fabric for the return displacement. It could easily tear. Your memories of Narcotis must be cleaned.
Will I remember nothing of this place? 6 years of my life, and for nothing?
When the time comes, you will remember. We will be waiting in the shadows of your dreams.
These riddles make no sense. What was it I needed to know?
Did you ever wonder about your visions?
Nightmares. It came with the territory. Sometimes it helped with the cases.
Bad dreams are never that accurate. You are different from the rest of your race, Jack. Your father could see it. Suicide was his escape from the truth.
What's this got to do with him?
He has been here too. He was displaced just moments before you were conceived. I was the transferred mind.
What are you saying? That you're my father?
Not entirely. You are not of our kind, but neither are you completely human. I'm sorry, Jack. There is no more time.
Mr. Walters? Mr. Walters? Can you hear me? Mr. Walters?
He's convulsing. We're losing him.
Now, at my end, I can finally see. My last case opened in me a new fear, a real fear, a fear of myself and what I am and what I have always been. All that I was is now lost. Hope, purpose, pleasure, all meaningless. I now walk in the shadows between worlds, and it is there I have finally glimpsed upon what lives in the dark corners of the earth. Rank D! Yeah! Alright, that is probably one of the worst endings. We didn't get, so why did we get such a bad ending? It took us way too long to beat the game. You have to beat it within 3 hours, I think. We didn't lose much blood loss. Our mental condition was insane. We weren't very accurate with our weapons. And we made 33 saves. Really? Didn't seem like that many to me. Okay, well, we didn't get anywhere near an A ending, so to my knowledge, I don't think we unlocked the other difficulty levels. Oh, but we do! Okay. And we got a high score. Oh, and we get the ending credits. This is really loud. Hey everyone. Alright, I cut that credits. That was way too loud. Sorry, ending credits. I normally like letting them play, but that was way too loud. Alright, it's been a few days since I recorded the game last, and by that, I actually mean the part where we just finished. I sliced off the ending here as well, because, well, I kind of hated on the game for the final, 10 minutes of talking. And in retrospect, I changed my mind a little bit, so I want to be a little more fair, now that I'm not running through the end sequence, dying over and over again for no apparent reason. We can talk about Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth, we can talk about the ending for maybe 5 minutes or so, I'll give it a grade, talk about why I gave it that, and then, well, we'll be on to something else. So, that ending was kind of what I expected. The Great Race of Yith, in case you don't know, are actually a consciousness, not a creature. The Yithians we saw, those weird creatures with the long arms, the polygonal base that they have, and the long neck with that head at the end, that's not actually them. That's the last race that they possessed before they moved on to a different race instead. They travel through time, they can send their consciousness in different directions in order to find out how they can survive for as long as possible. Humans were what they were interested in, but we weren't going to last very long. They found a different race of creatures, I believe cockroaches or something like an insect, further on past when we are wiped out in the future. And they went and their consciousness possessed all of them, put the cockroaches into their bodies, and that way when they died, their consciousness would live on. At least that's what it was in the book. In case it wasn't clear, the Yithians existed at a time in the past. And we're not talking a few years ago. We're talking millennia ago, when the dinosaurs, maybe even before the dinosaurs were walking around on the Earth. They were living here, and they reached out and they saw humans, and so they began trying to document, okay, what are the humans up to? What are they doing? I'm sure the humans won't mind possessing us. We're not all going to immediately jump to them. We want to... They can document everything that they know to help us out, and maybe they'll find some other information as well. Generally, it was a bit of a shock when the person was took over a Yithian body, but after a while, at least in the books, if I remember correctly, they kind of got used to it. There was a lot of information to read, and you could talk to all sorts of other people, or creatures, because they could do this whenever, right? Time didn't matter to them all that much. Granted, their eventual forms would die and perish and what have you, because they're going to be slaughtered by the flying polyps that they had imprisoned below themselves. So I remember in the book, the main character, whose name I forget, he was able to talk to someone from like 100 years earlier, someone from England, and the gentleman himself was from America. And the guy from England was like, oh, you'll have to let me know how the colonies are holding up. And he's like, oh, we fought a civil war to be free of of England, and what have you. It was really, really interesting. And the other guy from England was like, yeah, there's some guy from long before me who's here. We even have an insect from like 1,000 years, 8,000 years in the future or something like that. So what happened there was that the document, or the papers, I think, the tablets that the Innsmouth folk were trying to translate, was probably written by Jack Walters himself some 10,000 years, 20,000 years earlier, documenting the great race of Yith. Indeed, during the cutscene, it sounded like he was pretty fine with them, like, how can I help and stuff like that. He'd been there for some time. 6, I suppose, actual years, and then it was time for him to go back. In the book, the great race wasn't immediately attacked by those creatures. It happened at some unknown point. But you do find out that the seals were broken open, and a great wind sweeps away all the evidence of whatever happened. So, very Cthulhu, H.P. Lovecraft type of ending for it. So I really like the story for the game and the atmosphere. Actually, okay, hold on. I'm beginning to talk about a review for the game. So hopefully that ending makes a little more sense to you guys now. It ended pretty much as I expected for any of the Yithian stuff, which is to say, Jack was propelled back into the future. As for why he killed himself, I guess it all unlocked. He understood that everything's meaningless. We're going to die. The human race is doomed. We're not going to save ourselves. I don't know if the Yithians showed him how the humans die, or if a human from that era documented, like, we're all going to die from fire, or we nuke ourselves, or another ancient race consumes us all, or who knows what. But he ended up just killing himself. We did see a lot of the little girl at the ending. I don't know why Jack feels guilty for killing her. I remember that Innsmouth creature breaking out of the room and killing her. I don't think he unlocked that door. Furthermore, that little girl was going to become one of those Innsmouth people. The time of her change was practically upon her, if I recall correctly. She just hadn't changed over yet. So I don't know if Jack should feel really that guilty about it. It'd be like a mother killing her child, which is actually pretty much exactly what happened there. Is there anything else that needs to be explained? It looks like I'm wondering if the autosave that happens on load for the levels counts as us saving the game. I don't think I saved the game 33 times at eyeballs that weren't sealed with the Elder sign to get that very, very low score of a D. I don't think I like that scorecard very much at all, because I want to enjoy the atmosphere of the game by walking around and talking to people. But your score is improved the less you save, and the quicker you get through the game, as well as doing your best to save everyone and what have you. You know, save Hoover, rescue as many sailors as possible, etc. Oh, and saving, what's her name? At the very beginning when she was up on the, hiding from the Innsmouth folk. I forget her name now. But yeah, doing all that gives you a higher score as well. Okay, so hopefully the ending was explained well enough. Still don't know why he feels so guilty about killing her. I guess he does feel responsible. Maybe the Innsmouth Deep One there would not have gotten angry had he not been at the door. Maybe that's why he feels guilty, that it finally got enraged enough to actually kick in the door, break that down, rush out and kill the girl. Otherwise, I'm just going to go with so much information was unloaded to him. He realized the futility of everything and just killed himself. I also wonder if you get a better ending, like if he actually doesn't kill himself, if you get an A in the game. Okay, well now we're going to talk about the game, what score I'm going to give the game, and this is kind of tricky. You see, now that I've beaten the game, I know the game would be less frustrating the second time that I play through it. But I'll give it a score based on my current playthrough, having no idea what I was doing past a certain point. And then I'll give another score based on if I was to play it again, how much do I think I would or wouldn't like it. So first off, the voice acting's decent. I like the Innsmouth people very much. I thought that was fantastic. Jack himself was just so-so, actually. It was a little weird because he's going crazy, and then when you interact with the door, you get the, it's locked. Like, he doesn't seem to really care. Instead of shrieking it's locked or something of the sort, he just kind of talks kind of blandly. Puzzles were complicated. I remembered how to beat some of the puzzles eons ago because I got stuck eons ago when this game came out back in 2006. And, well, the later puzzles really confused me. And if it wasn't for the walkthrough, I never would have solved this game. I would have given up and just said, nope, we're not beating it, don't know what to do, have no clue, we're done. And I would have liked to have not consulted the FAQ so often at the end of the game, but I actually felt it was required to understand what was going on, because I had no idea what I was doing wrong. The combat in the game, once I realized that where you shoot the things matters, I went out of my way for headshots. To instantly kill an enemy is really useful. Even hitting them in the leg can slow them down, hitting them in the arms makes them less accurate. I'm going to say it, I liked the combat. It was a bit awkward. I thought it could have been a little better, but the reloading felt good. I felt like it took a while, so you wanted to switch your weapons. It felt like Jack switched weapons rather slowly, but Jack isn't a military man, not really, so I can understand it. You know, it takes him a while to get the hang of things. I like that you don't get a crosshair either, very much. It felt a lot more realistic that way. So I like the combat. I'm surprised. I remember hating the combat because it didn't make any sense to me back in 2006. But no, that's fine. That makes a lot of sense. I understand how that worked. I don't think I like the healing mechanic very much, although it does make sense as well. I don't like that your wounds improve over time. They should get worse without treatment, I think. And granted, your body would heal over... Oh, maybe Jack has some Yithian or some other ancient eldritch blood in him that lets him regenerate those wounds a bit if he's willing to wait it out. I was not willing to wait out those, the broken bones. I can understand that you take too many hits and you can't get the healing out in time, you're dead. I did like the, if you try to heal yourself when there's creatures in front of you, you're doomed. That's pretty much all there is to it. You gotta abandon yourself. Though I'm imagining Jack probably sawed off his legs and replaced them with pegs at the end of the game, given how many broken legs that we had, or arms at certain parts of the game. What else was there? I think that's really about it. So I like the combat. Oh, the theme. The atmosphere is fantastic. I really like the atmosphere of the game. Wonderful. It felt like the Shoggoth felt like a Shoggoth. Those polyps, they looked incredible. I really liked the Innsmouth people, and the deep ones were terrifying. And they could shred you to bits, and it just a few swipes if they got close to you. The sneaking was extremely painful, and I think they could have done the sneaking a little better. The game is unbeatable without patches, and in my opinion, unbeatable without the unofficial patcher that I have. In fact, I'll try to remember to put a link to it again in the comment section down below, so that you can, if you go grab this game, you can get that patcher, because the ending sequence is not beatable without that. You will die at that part every single flipping time, apparently. Lots of people were complaining about it. There's actually lots of bugs as well in the Steam version, and it is either unplayable or unbeatable there too. At least the GOG version has a fix to make it playable, and the patch can make it beatable. So, with all this said, for my first playthrough of the game, given the sheer amounts of frustration that I had with the puzzles, without any clue as to what to do, given, especially, oh my goodness, everyone. There was like 4.5 to 5 hours that I never uploaded. Some of that got undone when I realized what I had to do after practicing or looking stuff up online after wandering around for a bit. I thought about uploading me just wandering around for hours looking for what to do, but that would be boring, and I want you guys to be entertained when you watch this. So I got to keep that in mind as well. I think on a scale of 1 to 20, for my first playthrough, if I would give this game an 8. I would normally never play it again. Even though I love the atmosphere of this game, it does the H.P. Lovecraft thing really well. Not quite as good as some other games, but still really, really well. And there's no jump scares in the game either. It's all atmospheric, and I love it. I like that. But the penalties were super frustrating, and I had to put the game down for a little bit to play some Grim Dawn or something else to calm myself down because of how frustrating some bits of this game were. So only an 8. Below average thanks to all the problems. Now that I know what to do, though, I would probably give the game probably a 10. 10 or 11. I'd bump it up 2 or 3 more points, and I can see myself maybe playing this game a year or 2 from now that I know what to do, and another Halloween special for my channel, assuming I'm still around 2 to 3 years from now. So, overall, it's a average game. Some of the mechanics are very frustrating. The theme is very, very good and true to some of the books. The monsters are fantastic. Combat, oh, you might hate it, you might like it. I hated it through most of the game until I realized how it worked, and then like, okay, I can work around this. I see how this is going. I do wish the sanity loss played a better point than Jack's eyeballs going weird as well. And again, that frustration of not knowing what to do, being forced to look it up online. And I'm going to say that a few of those puzzles, I don't think I was too dumb. I am dumb sometimes, very dumb sometimes. But that crystal, man, that crystal, I never would have known what to do had I not looked that up online. I think the same thing with the book. I never would have known what to do there to solve that ending puzzle. There were a few other times as well where it was too frustrating. So, yeah, so I gave it 11. Can I recommend the game?
We are waiting for you.
If you've seen my playthrough, I can recommend it. But of course, now you've watched it, so you don't really need to pick up the game. Obviously, you're not going to probably see this ever unless you've watched the whole playthrough. And if this is the only bit of the game you're ever watching, and you haven't seen anything else I've done or anything else anyone else has done, I don't recommend the game, unfortunately. And if you do get the game, I do recommend you grab the unofficial patcher. There'll be something in the comments below. All right. Oh, and finally, I did have fun. I did have fun. It was frustrating, but I had fun playing it. And Corey Jackson as well, thank you for the encouragement. You telling me that you were enjoying this helped me get through the game. There are several times when I've played a game and I've absolutely loathed it at certain points. Alice Madness Returns is one such game. I've been tempted to redo that one, where I didn't like the game about two-thirds of the way through, and oh, it was coming out in everything I was doing. For this game, I tried to cut all that out, or as little bit as possible. I left some complaining in to show you I was frustrated, but all the cursing and swearing, that was taken out. Because, number one, I don't like losing my cool on screen. And number two, you guys don't need me to be cursing at a game while we're playing it. No, that's no good. You guys are here to enjoy the game, not enjoy Salty Tim swearing and cursing because he's too dumb to use a book on a map. You know what the heck's going on, or dying for jumping puzzles or something of the sort. Alright, I think I'm done. I think I've been fair to the game. I'm glad you guys watched it through, all you who did. Again, I had fun playing it. I can't recommend it if this is the only thing you've seen. If you have seen the game and you're willing to play it yourself, go for it. You'll know what to do at the very least. And I can see myself playing this game again in the future, having beaten it once. Alright, everyone, that will do it for me. I will see you all in the next game, whatever that is. I think it's time to finally record more Witcher 3. And you all take care. Enjoy your Halloween, everyone. Happy Halloween to everybody. Take care, everyone.